And I've probably met quite a few of you before, but myself, Mr Parsons, Principal, is going to introduce the presentation. Mr Hill, Head of Sixth Form, is going to also talk to you. Keris, one of our student leaders, is going to talk, and then Miss Hay, our Deputy Head of Sixth Form, is going to talk as well. And our goal, in probably around about this 25-minute slot, is to give you as much information about our Sixth Form, but also really about post-16 education, the changes and difference between Year 11 and Level 2, and then moving on to Level 3, and also thinking even further ahead, post-18, and the goals some young people may have already ahead. So, it is a really warm welcome to our Sixth Form. Now, the slide up here, okay, our Sixth Form in a school Sixth Form is very much part of the school. We see students who stay with us, okay, for 7 years if they're in our Sixth Form, very much as a journey together. And our goal isn't simply to say, at the end of Year 11, of course we want brilliant exam results, and if you stay with us, it's exam results at the end of Year 13. It is about the journey. It is about the young person developing, and what Mr Hill will say about people becoming employable citizens and responsible alongside of that. So we think about our journey and our education here and curriculum, okay, ensuring that students are with us, that we really advise and guide to make sure they get onto the best possible courses. Now, particularly at post-16, being part of Meridian Trust, we've been part of the Trust now since 2015, but the number up there with 12 secondary schools, many of those that have Sixth Forms, allows us to share, allows us to work with colleagues and get the best possible lessons and courses that we can have. And an example of that would be, on Monday of this week, nearly 900 teachers at secondary level came together at about 5 or 6 secondary schools to share and talk and collaborate about courses, and particularly at Key Stage 5, whether that be A-levels or BTEC. So the power that happens within that group of schools, quite often, okay, we're really proud of our Sixth Form, the fact that it is also judged Ofsted Outstanding, we're really proud of, but we are able to also help and support and get information from others that makes us strong. So being part of the Trust is really helpful and supportive and powerful for us in terms of what we deliver. Now, for those of you that have known you, you've probably heard myself, Mrs Wilson speak previously, whether that be back at an open evening, whether that be in Year 8, when students chose their GCSE courses. We're really proud of the journey that the school is on and continues to be on. Our results in the summer this year for GCSE and A-level were yet again really very, very high. So we continue to see those standards at high, and we continue to want to maintain those. We continue to develop our site. Our Sixth Form over the years has had really, really good investment alongside the rest of the school. A couple of things on there. I mentioned student attainment and progress, but education, no different to the world out there, is a challenging place. And one thing I'm particularly proud of is if ever we need to recruit a member of staff, we recruit well, and that isn't that often, but we retain, okay, and that is really important. At post-16, A-levels and BTECs are demanding. They're also quite hard to teach, let alone examine on them, and the team that we have that deliver those courses, as well as the Sixth Form tutor team that support students, are incredibly experienced. So you can be safe in the hands knowing that if you were to choose Sawtry Sixth Form, you're coming into a well-established Sixth Form with incredible experience and guidance that goes alongside that. Mr Hill will talk a little bit later about the success of our students that go on to higher education, onto university. He'll also mention the success of students that might go on to an apprenticeship, because now the landscape of university and the associated financial costs of it aren't necessarily for everybody. So we're really careful in our guidance for where students may wish to go on. Before I hand over to Mr Hill, What we're really proud of as well is lots of our students, these are some of our Year 13s this year, keep in touch with us. And we love to hear from them in terms of what they go on. They're really proud that they were part of this school, whether it be for 2 years, which some do join us, or whether that be for 7 years. Thank you very much for listening to me. Over to Mr. Hill. Thank you.
Thank you. So as Mr. Parsons mentioned, that's sort of the context behind why we do what we do. I'm going to talk about a bit about our academic excellence and also the curriculum options that are available to you if you choose to stay with us at Sixth Form. So I just want to start by talking about those results that Mr. Parsons mentioned. Our Year 13 results in the summer, we had a 99% pass rate across the different types of course we offer. That's above the national average. We're really pleased about that. And A star obviously is the sort of the pinnacle of what you can achieve in an A level, and 12% of our students achieved an A star. Absolutely fantastic results. We're really, really pleased about that. 65% of last year's cohort have now started at university, and our 5-year trend in those results remains outstanding. And I'll talk a little bit more about that in a moment. But it's not all about university. We talk a lot about uni, we do. That's because, as I said, 65% of our students went on to university. We recognise that that means 35% of our students chose not to go to university. We want to make sure we're providing options and sort of covering all bases for all of the possible outcomes once you leave the Sixth Form. So ultimately, our goal is not about getting people to uni, it's about letting students leave us highly employable, well-rounded young people with a destination that is right for them, whatever that destination may be. That's our objective, that's what we're doing from day one in the Sixth Form. Okay? Highly employable, well-rounded, with a destination that's right for them. When it comes to those results, this is a thermometer. Students don't need to know anything about this thermometer really. The thermometer represents red hot at the top, means basically the best schools in the country for the amount of progress that their students make. And our 5-year trend in results is outstanding, and it puts us in the red. Okay? We are a red hot school for the progress that students make with us. Some destinations, just to go further with those ambitious destinations that I was talking about. You've got such a broad range there, and we're really, really proud of that. That we've got the University of Cambridge up there, we've got other Russell Group universities, we've got a range of courses, physics, English, law, but we've also got international finance with a year abroad, we've got film practice, so we're really trying to cater for the broadest possible audience in terms of what we offer and how we support students. We've also got up there a gap year with employment, we've got a couple of people on different apprenticeships. As I mentioned, there are many more options than university, and we're here to guide your children into any of those options. So, if I had to put it in a nutshell, why Sawtry? One is those results. The progress our students make is outstanding. Okay, we're really proud. Two is the ambitious destinations that our students go on to, and again, we're really, really proud of that. Results Day is one of our favourite days, because we get to see the outcome of those 2 years of work from the students. And thirdly, how Ofsted have rated us when they last visited us. They said the school is good in all areas, and we're so proud of that. That's really fantastic, that the school is good in every area. The Sixth Form is not good. The Sixth Form is outstanding. Okay? Ofsted have come in, independently judged us, they said we're outstanding. That's reserved for a relatively small number of schools who are to go above and beyond, and that's us in the outstanding area. We're so proud and pleased about that. Students will know if they're in the Sixth Form, we talk about that quite a bit. So, in the prospectuses that you will have collected already, hopefully, if you haven't, there are some more in the Sixth Form Centre, you can grab them on your way through after. In the prospectus, you'll have this page, which is our subject pathways. Okay? Basically, our entry requirements are staggered. Not every course is appropriate for every student. Okay? So, we've laid out this sort of pathway process with 3 different coloured bands, and we've tried to keep it as simple as we can. And I'm going to talk about the entry requirements for each of those 3 bands. So, just to start us off, the base entry requirement, this is just to get into Sixth Form in the first place, is an APS, an average point score of 3.7. Okay? Now, to calculate the APS, that is the average of your best 8 GCSEs. So you just add up the best 8, divide it by 8. Okay? Just a mean average. So if your average GCSE is 3.7 or above, that's our minimum entry requirements. Okay? You also need a grade 4 in English language or in maths. And it's the law that if you don't have that 4, you resit it in Sixth Form. So you'll be required to sit the other one if you didn't get both. Okay? If you have... Oh, I can't know, sorry. So, moving on to back onto our bands, I want to talk about a traditional A-level offer. Okay, this is what you would consider traditional in a sixth form. So you've got your green band there, you need an average GCSE result of 4.5. Okay, and you need to have both fours in English and maths. Okay, and the majority of our A levels are offered there. GCSE means A levels in effect. Then we have our yellow band. The average point score is 5.5 for this band. These are your more rigorous, academic, tough A levels. And there's also some more specific requirements. So you need a 6 in maths GCSE to study maths, chemistry, or physics, because basically they all contain difficult maths requirements. This is all about making sure that our students are on the courses that are right for them. Okay? And just looking back to the earlier band, as I mentioned, the 3.7 band, we've expanded this offer considerably over the course of the last 5 years. We have a new course, Children's Play, Learning and Development. That's brand new for current year 11. There's nobody currently in the sixth form studying that course. So we're always trying to expand this band and offer more courses wherever possible. We've had really good success with our results. Our BTEC results this year were absolutely phenomenal. We were so pleased with those results. There's a real good range of courses on offer in this blue band. I should add, with the pathways, if you're eligible for yellow band, you can still take blue band subjects. Okay, they're available for everyone. Okay, so I'm going to hand over to Keris in a moment, but these students are a real credit to us at the Academy, and Keris is going to speak in just a moment's time. If throughout the rest of the evening, when you go over to the new building and you get to experience the different subjects, if you haven't already, please do feel free to ask our students that are with us tonight any questions you may have. They'll be very happy to help with anything they can. Okay, Keris.
I really think the main advantage of sixth form can be summed up in one word, which is trust. We're trusted to manage our non-contact time, to take advantage of the opportunities given to us through enrichment, and to balance our education with our social lives or any part-time jobs. The independence that students at this sixth form feel is really a symbol of the trust placed in us by the school as we take that journey towards adulthood. That's not to say that you simply get thrown into the deep end when you start at sixth form. We have amazing pastoral support, mainly in the form of Hayley, who helps with UCAS applications, apprenticeships, jobs, and also with emotional support. So she's always there for a chat, and I can tell you from personal experience that she gives absolutely amazing advice. Academics are a really important part of the sixth form. There's a huge focus on hard work and dedication to help students achieve the best results. We have our own silent study room where students are able to go to work without distractions. And lots of subjects offer a session 6 or lunchtime revision session, as well as obviously normal lessons. And of course we have Mr. Hill, who's always using his psychological expertise to teach us how we can utilise memory most effectively in order to achieve the best kind of revision techniques. Sixth form also provides the opportunity to go on a number of really exciting trips. Recently, Year 13 went on a trip to London where they were able to visit a number of universities. This really helps with things like UCAS applications. So anywhere from Hunstanton to Iceland. Sixth form is a really amazing opportunity to broaden your horizons and see some amazing new places. Delving a little deeper, sixth form is an amazing opportunity to build skills and develop yourself as a person before we leave school into the adult world. This is mainly done in the form of enrichment, which can be anything from mentoring younger students to core maths to trekking through the Scottish wilderness on Duke of Edinburgh, although that would be my personal choice. And enrichment gives a kind of break from the regular schedule of lessons and revision. It's also really important because it can give students a chance to achieve extra qualifications. So, for example, if you get a high grade in EPQ, certain universities will then offer you kind of reduced grades. Sixth form's a much smaller community than main school, and therefore we recognise that individual voices are much more influential. We have an annual election for the student leadership team, and each subject also has a subject representative who you'll see today kind of around the school. Each term the student leadership team will send out a survey where students are able to give feedback on the positives and negatives of sixth form, things that they might want to see improved. And we try to act on this feedback as quickly as possible. It's really easy to make change, so we try to encourage students to be as involved in our sixth form democracy as possible. Trust. Sixth form is about A-levels and BTECs, but it's also about the journey towards adulthood. And that journey can be really challenging, but being trusted with our education allows us to rise to that challenge. And ultimately, that's what Sixth Form is about. So today, as you're walking around, try to explore some subjects you might not have seen before. If you have any questions, feel free to catch me, Billy or Kieran at the end. Thank you very much for listening.
And so I'm here to say, yes, the exam results are great, and get some really good results, and the outstanding from Ofsted, which is fantastic, but we are much more than just exams in Sixth Form, okay? So our key things are, we've got a dedicated post-16 advisor. I don't think Kerry's going to solve Hayley or give him a better description of Hayley any better. So Hayley's fantastic, is the SSA for Sixth Form. We've got a strong team of Sixth Form tutors. So the Sixth Form tutors have been doing their jobs for ages. Okay, so they really know what works well on a university application, or if you're applying for an apprenticeship or a job, they know what they're talking about. We've got careers guidance, we've got PSHE, we've got enrichment. I'm going to talk about that over the next few slides. So, as Kerry's kindly, she may be very good public speaking, maybe not the best opinions, she described things as cheesy. I personally absolutely adore them. Okay, motivation Monday, target Tuesday, wellbeing Wednesday, thought-provoking Thursday, and fitness Friday. So on Monday, what we do is we have a current affairs quiz. So they go into teams in their tutor groups and they compete against each other, but then we've also got the tutor groups competing against each other. It can get a little bit nasty at times between tutors, okay? And then at the end of each half term, we have a celebration assembly. So that's what we have today. And we basically throw out chocolate and £10 Amazon vouchers. So if we go to the bottom right here, Mr. Keeley's tutor group won the overall quiz, averaged the highest score, so they got chocolate to share amongst them. This guy here, he was part of the winning quiz team, so we've got about 27 quiz teams across the Sixth Form. His was one of the top ones, so they all get some chocolate, and it's like the honour of being top of the leaderboard. Target Tuesdays, so that's all preparing for the future. So things like how to sort out car insurance. Okay, how do you go about looking for university courses? Like, how do you put together a CV? How do you put together a university application? That's what we do on Tuesdays. Wednesdays, it's all about the things, the dangers, okay? Keeping you safe. So the alcohol, drugs, all of the kind of keeping, all of the warning things, okay? Thursdays is Mr. Hill comes into his own with his assemblies, thought-provoking Thursdays. We struggled a little bit with the name for that one. So that's when Mr. Hill does his thing. On Fridays, as Kerry's mentioned, sometimes we just take the whole Sixth Form for a walk around the village during 15 minutes. I apologise if you are a resident in Sawtry and you see us all trekking past. We also look though at mental health, so not just physical health and healthy eating and things like this, but also mental well-being. So, just another quick thing to mention is, in terms of celebrating success, so every half term, to be like, have they learned what we've been doing on registration, we do a quiz, and it's called Are You a PSHE Champion? And if you come top, then you get a £10 Amazon voucher. And we had a few people top this time, so we do sort of Wheel of Fortune, put their names in, and in the assembly you don't get the winner. So those are our winners today, so they get to spend £10 on Amazon. These guys here in the middle, every half term, Mr. Hill or I drop into lessons, the teacher nominates somebody or who's like really stood out, and they get a golden ticket. They also get a golden whisper bar, okay, and then they go into a prize draw to win a £10 Amazon voucher. So, we do some trips in Sixth Form, so Kerry's touched on this. At the end of Year 12, we go to a UCAS convention at Bedford University. Haley, you were saying earlier, it's about 200, I think 200, so many. The universities go, they get all of their stands, you can go around, talk about courses, get prospectuses. You can also get lots of free stuff. So Charlie is there, he was the winner, many free pens and bags. And even if you think university is not for me, it's a really good day to kind of maybe rule it out, think, is it for me, is it not? Or if you're set on apprenticeships, they do apprenticeship talks as well. It normally only costs about £15, so it's a kind of a cheap day out, and it is really good and really worthwhile. So that's at the end of year 12 that we do that. We also had a trip to London at the end of last half term, so on Friday. Was it about 50, 60 year 13s, we all got the train down to London. We went to different universities, so we went to UCL, University College London, London School of Economics, King's College, both campuses. For the students that are much more artistic than myself with the maths, they went to Central St Martin's, which is the kind of the top uni for the creative arts. So that was an amazing day, and we're going to run that again next year. Like, we loved it. It was a really good experience. And they got tours around the universities, but we also did sightseeing, so it was a good trip. Okay. We do worry that those slides seem a little bit like, oh, we just want you to go to university. That is not the case. We want you to do uni, apprenticeship, job, whatever is best for you. Okay? So in terms of apprenticeships, we've got amazing apprenticeships in a company coming in 3 times this year. And they're running some CV workshops, they're doing, we did interview preparation at the end of year 12, we have different accountancy firms coming in to give talks. So whilst I focus on the uni side, Mr Hill is the apprenticeship man, so that it's all about giving as many opportunities as possible for what is right for you. It's not just, oh, you're going to sixth form, then go to university, definitely not. It's like, oh, maybe consider an apprenticeship, actually let's get you to a really good one, okay, let's help you with the CV. So Mr Hill has run CV workshops during the year, so there's a lot of support there. Okay. So obviously you're now thinking, how do I get my child here? So these are the key dates. So, application form goes live on the website tonight. In fact, they're so keen that on the way out there are QR codes, you can scan it and fill in the Microsoft form on the way out. Okay. Year 11 mocks are later in mid to late November. Apologies, year 11. Okay. You get another learning profile, okay, in January, and you can do your predicted average point score for that, which Mr. Hill was talking about earlier. Application deadline is the 31st of January. Okay, so you've got until then to fill in the form if you don't decide to fill it in tonight. Guidance meetings. I really love this. This is one of my favourite bits of the job. So, if you put an application in, we, Mr Hill, myself, Hayley, we have 5-minute meetings, 5 to 10-minute meetings with every student that applies, just to go, right, these are the right courses for you. They might have put down some courses, but I'm not entirely sure. We can talk it through and think, actually, is this right? What do you want to do in the future? Does this keep doors open? So they're always really useful and beneficial. So you'll get one of those in January, February time. Learner profile 3. So that will be updated based on how you've been doing since your November box. Okay, and we've got some induction days in June. So once your exams are finished and you get your final day out of the way with and all of that, okay, we have some induction days which are kind of good, quite chill, laid back, nice, get to experience some lessons. It's a nice couple of days, nothing too intense. And then the dreaded day. GCSE results day in August, okay, but that then determines which courses you get on.